In this video, we're going to look back at Tobias Harris's magnificent game on the road against the Spurs in 2019. The date is January 20th, 2019. The Clippers are on a 5-game losing streak, and Tobias Harris is about to lead them to a huge win without Danilo, Gallinari, and Lou Williams. The Clippers came into this game tied with the Lakers for the 8th seed, and he wills them to a win. Like most good things in basketball, this starts on the defensive end. Bryn Forbes is going to try to hit LaMarcus Aldridge on a deep steal against Montrezl Harrell early in the shot clock. But Tobias is in a good spot. He reads it. He ends up getting the steal. It just tells you the awareness that he had to be in the right place at the right time and get the ball. And he's going to lead the Clippers up the court the other way on a fast break. And as he goes into the front court, we can actually see him sizing up Bryn Forbes. He knows he has a smaller man and he can take it to the hole. He hard plants with his right leg, right foot as he goes into the paint. And he's going to kind of just sidestep right around him with this mini Euro step for the finish. On offense, Tobias Harris is what we call a 3-level scorer. He can score inside, he can score from the mid-range, he can score from 3. He gets the ball handoff to him by Montrezl Harrell. And as Tobias goes to the right and tries to get downhill, Montrezl Harrell delivers a nice screen against Rudy Gay. Tobias gets into the lane, but if you notice, LaMarcus Aldridge is in drop coverage because of the rolling Harrell, which allows Tobias to get this floater, and he has a nifty finish, and he's on the board again. One of the advantages Tobias Harris has on the offensive end, at least for the Clippers when he was there, is he gets guarded by a lot of stretch force because he is a big, small forward, and as Beverly cuts through the paint, Davis Bertans has to close out on him. But Harris is a 4 who has the quickness of a 3 off the first step, and he attacks this hard closeout. And as Harris gets downhill, you can see 5 defenders looking at him, including DeMar DeRozan, who vacates the weak side corner, and Avery Bradley. Harris makes the pass, Bradley's wide open, and he knocks down a 3. Another thing that Tobias Harris was good at with the Clippers was early recognition offense. As Beverly curls off of Jonathan Motley, we can actually see Jakob Poeltl trying to make sure that there's no backdoor pass. Well, Harris is going to read this because Davis Bertans overplays the screen. And as Harris gets downhill, Poeltl can't get back in time to protect the rim, so Harris gets into the body of the shot blocker and goes up with, it is a tough shot, but he ends up making it while drawing the contact and the foul, and it shows you how good he can be. Tobias was such a unique player for the Clippers, and he was so aggressive in transition. As we see here, Davis Bertans is the only one stopping Tobias Harris from getting to the rim, and that's not going to work. He's not a shot blocker. Harris is so crafty and agile, he can Euro step at full speed as he does right here with this really long step to the side. And he plants his right foot and he's going to go up and finish with yet another layup. This is a baseline out of bounds. Tobias Harris curls off of Motley. Motley gets the ball inbounded to him near the left elbow. Now this is a problem for San Antonio. Bertans is initially on Harris, but Harris screens Mills for Beverly. So now Mills is matched up against him, and Motley then screens Mills. This is where San Antonio falls into the trap, because as Harris springs off of this, Motley then screens Bertans, and Mills cannot get out there fast enough. It's a wide open corner 3 for Tobias Harris, and he's too good of a shooter to be given that. Clippers in semi-transition. Rudy Gay matched up against Tobias Harris. Motley's coming over to set the screen, and Gay knows it's coming, so he tries to ice it. Well, Harris reads this, and he's going to actually cut the other way. But Gay does a solid job, and then they dribble into a handoff with Motley. Motley's screen is good enough that it's going to allow Harris to get downhill to the nail, which is an area of the floor where Tobias can actually make jumpers at a high rate. Derek White reads this, and he collapses onto Tobias Harris, but it leaves Patrick Beverly, a good shooter, wide open, and it's another 3. This play is more of a testament to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was such a magnificent rookie for the Clippers. He sees Tobias running full speed, and he's going to thread this pass right through to Tobias on the run. Tobias then one dribble gathers, and he takes a really long step to the restricted area, which enables him to get into the teeth of the defense and get under them up for a layup while drawing contact, and he finishes it. Tobias is a deceptively strong guy. San Antonio has the ball. Derek White's dribbling into the paint, but Shai walls him off. Now, what San Antonio loves to do is get LaMarcus Aldridge in the post for his patent and turnaround fadeaways, and Tobias is matched up with him here. Tobias is no slouch in terms of raw strength and his core ability to get into a body. Aldridge does this shimmy with his neck to try to get Tobias to lean and jump the wrong way, But Tobias reads this perfectly and contests Aldridge at the high point at the apex of his release, and he's going to end up forcing a miss, which tells you Tobias can get stops against great offensive players. Once again, another San Antonio possession. This time, Tobias is going to be matched up with Rudy Gay, also in the mid-post. Rudy Gay is going to size him up. This is an advantage in the strength department for Tobias, but Rudy's very savvy and a really good scorer throughout his career. So as Rudy faces up and he's going to drive left, Tobias does a good job of walling him off and preventing him from getting to the middle of the floor. What this enables is this forces Rudy Gay to spin back the other way, but Tobias does a good job of even beating him to that spot and staying upright and vertical to force Rudy Gay into an even tougher mid-range jumper than LaMarcus Aldridge had on the clip before. It's another miss and another stellar defensive possession for Tobias Harris. There's a lot of game within the game type stuff when it comes to NBA offenses, and on this play we're going to see Tobias Harris kind of read exactly what the defense is trying to do to him here. He's going to get the ball, he's matched up against LaMarcus Aldridge one-on-one, Harris goes left, and he knows that Aldridge wants to keep him left, so he's trying to beat him to the spot. So Harris instinctively spins to the nail, but he's met with Derek White at the nail, and Harris knows if White is defending here, that means Patrick Beverley is open. But when Harris goes to bring the ball up, White jumps, so Harris instinctively steps through, makes the pass to Patrick Beverley, and it's another three for Pat and another good pass for Tobias. One thing the Clippers could miss is just how much of a difference maker Tobias was in early offensive sets. Tobias is dribbling up, and as he decelerates, Rudy Gay knows he's a good jump shooter, so he has to step up. But by stepping up, it allows Montrezl Harrell to slip and take the vacated spot under the rim. Tobias jumps and makes this pass, and it's another assist for Tobias and a nifty finish by Montrez. This is a double drag set that the Clippers run a lot of. Doc Rivers loves it, especially with two bigs. As Harris has the ball, Beverley and Motley are up top as screeners. Beverley is going to act as a popper while Motley's the roller. As Harris comes down off this screen and dribbles to the left, Mills and Poeltl have to be there to help defend, which allows Motley to be the roller. Well, Beverley's this freed up spot-up shooter, and as he gets the ball, San Antonio does a good job of closing out, but by closing out and Beverley attacking that closeout, it forces the switch with Poeltl onto Beverley and makes the smaller Patty Mills play against Tobias. So when Mills tries to face guard and try to tell DeRozan to come get him, Beverley is able to thread this pass over the top to Tobias, and in doing so, Tobias finishes through contact against the trees. Jakob Poeltl's a very good shot blocker, but Harris is strong enough and crafty enough to finish this shot and draw the foul. The Clippers use Tobias in a lot of nifty ways. Here he sets a high screen against Patty Mills, which is going to force the switch and get Mills onto Harris, and Shea going downhill against Rudy Gay. On the flip side, as Harris pops off that, Jonathan Motley sets another screen, this time on Patty Mills, and Harris is able to get downhill. Well, as Motley rolls, Harris ball fakes the pass to Motley, and instead this draws Rudy Gay down into the paint. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gets the ball from Harris on a nice feed. Shea's wide open and he knocks it down. The Spurs just had no answer for the Clippers in these sets. Tobias was such a menace in transition that he got the Clippers a lot of easier shots than they would normally get, in the half court. Here he drives, and as he snakes in front of Rudy Gay, he's going to bend the defense to his will. Sindarius Thornwell was already spotting up in the corner, and the reason that Harris snaking through and drawing the defense was so huge is it gets Thornwell a wide open three, and he knocks this down. This is a play and a situation where San Antonio's proclivity to switching on defense hinders them. DeRozan's originally on Harris, but Montrezl Harrell's screen watches him out, and they switch with Aldridge onto Harris. Well, then Harris ends up coming over, and he's going to set another screen, and then he gets the ball from Patrick Beverley. Well, as Beverley slices through, Bryn Forbes points to Aldridge to go take Patrick Beverley. Well, this puts a smaller defender against Tobias Harris, and this is exactly what Tobias wants. As he drives to the right, Bryn Forbes can't stop him. He's too small. And Aldridge doesn't want to help and try to, give some containment because Beverley's in the corner. So when Harris goes up for this very tough jumper, Bryn Forbes can't contest this well enough, and it's another make by Tobias. Speaking of switching being the Achilles heel to San Antonio in this game, Montrezl Harrell sets a screen against Davis Bertans for Tobias Harris, and as Harris comes downhill off of this, LaMarcus Aldridge has to meet him. And as Harris pump fakes, he's going to get Aldridge up in the air, but Tobias knows, I don't need to force this, I can actually just reset, so he's going to pass to Bradley in the corner and get the ball back. Well, as Bradley comes up to, set like a slip screen for Tobias, what ends up happening is Bryn Forbes is going to get switched on Tobias, and this is exactly what the Clippers want. Another smaller defender. Harris takes him off the dribble, gets a little forearm action into Bryn Forbes to create some separation. The arm doesn't fully leave his body, and as Harris goes up, it's not a well-contested jumper by Bryn Forbes. It's another make for Tobias and another instance of switching killing the Spurs. This was the nail in the San Antonio coffin, and it's courtesy of Tobias. As Derek White drives and gets the ball to Davis Bertans in transition, Tobias is there to contest this and force a very tough reverse layup by Bertans that he misses. As Aldridge gets the ball on the offensive rebound, Tobias is right there again to meet him, and he forces yet another miss. Derek White gets the ball, has another contested layup, but Tobias is going to get the rebound. And when Tobias gets the ball and goes up the floor, we're going to see why he's so dangerous as a 3-level scorer. He funnels the ball to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Clippers are off in transition. They're off and running. San Antonio has to be there to try to collapse on the paint and all the rollers. Well, Tobias is trailing in transition. Look at the San Antonio defense as Tobias catches. There's no one really above the free throw line. And as Tobias steps into this three, which effectively ends the game, it puts the Clippers up by 11, the Spurs are just lost, and Tobias has his best game of the year. This is the kill shot by Tobias Harris. Side out of bounds. Montrezl Harrell's going to slip this screen. In doing so, you get some idea of how the Spurs are going to play against this action late in the game. And Tobias actually wants Montrezl to come back up and set another screen, so he's going to. Harris actually goes early, and he runs Rudy Gay right into Harrell at full speed. LaMarcus Aldridge all game long has seen Harris keep going left to get to the baseline, but not here. Aldridge is turned the wrong way, Harris gets great elevation on a left elbow jumper, and this shot ends the game. The Clippers were teetering coming into this game. They'd lost 5 in a row. They were tied with the Lakers for the 8th seed. We had no idea what was going to happen. No Danilo Gallinari. No Lou Williams. Tobias Harris has his best game as a Clipper. 27 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 3 steals, and a block on 12 of 20. Just an incredible display by a great player for the Clippers.